Hey everyone, welcome to the archive. My name's Jason, also known as the Archivist Adrift. Every Friday, Alan over at the Comic Collector Geek has a Friday challenge, like a Friday comic book challenge, where he picks a theme and then has YouTubers select 10 books in their collection based on that theme. And I've done a few of these in the past. I don't do them every week, mostly because I just don't have enough books to fill out the challenge. Um, but this week's theme was on comic books based on Sword and Sorcery. And I actually really like that challenge. That's a genre I'm really interested in. Um, but I kind of wanted to expand it a little bit from just Sword and Sorcery to Sword and whether it be Sword and Sandal or Sword and Planet, which I'll discuss when I show a comic based on that. Um, but yeah, I love all those genres, and I think they slide past one another sometimes where um, one genre, like the Sword and Sorcery subgenre, kind of crosses paths with the Sword and Sandal genre. Um, so let me show you the books I've selected for this week's challenge. Okay, so the first book I wanted to show was Wonder World Comics, number 4. This came out in August 1939, and it's a Lou Fine cover. The cover here shows two warriors battling with one another. You might think at first look or first sight that they're like knights, but they don't look like any kind of knights that I've ever seen. This guy's shirtless, not wearing any male armor or anything like that. Um, and Oddly enough, the characters on this cover don't appear in the book at all. You see mention of the Flame, Yarko the Great, Patty O'Day, Dr. Fung, but there is no story about these horseback warriors fighting one another. And this wasn't too uncommon in the early comic book history. But anyhow, this is a really cool book. It's by Fox Feature Syndicate, and great book. The next one is it's a pulp. This is Fantasy Adventures. It's from July 1941, covered by J. Allen St. John and H.W. Macaulay. It's the second part of Edgar Rice Burroughs' novelette, I guess you could say, or novel, Goddess of Fire. It's part of his Venus series. And this was a series that I think he did after his John Carter of Mars series. But instead of John Carter, this is Carson Napier is the main character in this. The style of genre this is it's called Sword and Planet sometimes, or planetary romance. It's essentially a style that Burroughs himself came up with characters like John Carter of Mars, where a human somehow goes to a different planet, sometimes through out-of-body experience or a magic carpet or sometimes a rocket ship. But it's not really a sci-fi because he ends up fighting with the barbarian type tools, swords, axes, that kind of thing on this kind of crazy faraway planet. And there might be lasers or spaceships. There might be some sci-fi elements in there, but it's very close to the Sword and Sorcery genre. So yeah, pretty cool. Next one here. This is Barbarians featuring Ironjaw by Atlas Comics. So if you don't know the story about Atlas Comics, so Martin Goodman, the owner of Marvel Comics, sold Marvel Comics to a company called Perfect Film and Chemical Corporation in '68. But he stayed on as publisher for a few more years. When he finally left in '72, the idea was that his son was going to take over as a publisher, but they preferred Stan Lee. And so that really ticked off Martin, who decided that he wanted to resurrect Atlas as his own company. And so he hired a bunch of creators to write a number of comic books. And some of them were fairly successful, I think, but most of them, they just were kind of rush jobs, and they just didn't have the ability to pull it off. They had a number of characters, like this character named Ironjaw, who was doing pretty well, I think, in his own book. And so they spun this off into a new book called Barbarians featuring Ironjaw. It only got to issue number 1, and that's where it stopped. But it's a cool cover, and it's done by Rich Buckler, and came out in June 1st, 1975. Okay, the next one we have here is Headlopper, number 9. A story, art, and cover by Andrew McLean, and came out in September 2018. And not much to say about this other than it's by Image, and it's a cool book. And yeah, so I really like the cover. Want to show it off. Okay, we have another Edgar Rice Burroughs book here, or story that is. This is Tarzan Presents Edgar Rice Burroughs Weird Worlds number 3, or just Weird Worlds number 3, by DC Comics. Cover art by Joe Orlando, and this came out in January of 1973. And I initially thought that this was Tarzan on the cover, but it's not. It's John Carter of Mars. And again, this is part of that whole sand and planets subgenre, and very, very barbarian-esque-ish, so very cool. I think it was Rich, or I can't remember who it was, or maybe it was Matt. It might have been Matt at Matt Likes Comics, who pointed out this has a striking resemblance to that Frank Frazetta cover from, what was that, Amazing Funnies or something like that. Yeah, and I think it does, so pretty cool. Okay, next we have Sensation Comics, number 71. I don't know why Alan didn't show any Wonder Woman comics in his video. Technically, of course, yeah, she's not really Sword and Sorcery, which I know that he was trying to stick with a little bit. But there are a number of covers where she looks very ancient Amazonian with a sword and shields and battling, mystical monsters and wizards and sorcerers and things like that. So, I think she kind of fits into that genre, or at least into the Sword and Sandal subgenre. And really, I think the distinction between Sword and Sorcery and Sword and Sandal is that Sword and Sandal is supposed to be somewhat rooted in the real world, even if there is sometimes magic and whatnot. But there is a little bit of, like I said, there's a little bit of crossover between the genres. Really love this cover. And I got it for a really nice price, so I'm glad I was able to pick it up. Sensation Comics number 71, artwork by the great H.G. Peter. This came out in November 1947. It looks like someone put 1947 right here. This will be a future conservation book because it is a little beat, but we'll get it looking pretty good, I think. All right, next we've got Fantasy Quarterly number 1 featuring ElfQuest. This is probably one of the biggest, among the biggest Sword and Sorcery comics. This was created, drawn, and written by Wendy Penny, and I think with some help from her husband, at least in publishing. This was published in February 1978. This only had 1 issue, and Wendy wasn't happy with how it came out and really wanted to go a different direction from the publisher, who was, I guess, kind of screwing them around. Wendy is a really interesting person in the comic book world in her own right. She was a comic enthusiast, one of the few women creators in early comics. She was an early convention goer, would often dress up as in cosplay, one of the earliest cosplayers. I think she went as a Red Sonja quite often. So yeah, really cool book. This predates ElfQuest 1. It's, I think, the earliest ElfQuest book out there, and really cool book. It's still going for a somewhat affordable price, so if you find it, grab it. All right, Alan showed this book on his channel as well, and I agree with him. It's a really cool cover. This is Conan the Barbarian number 6 by Titan Comics, and came out in January 2024, and it's a cover by Jay Lee. So don't have much to say about it other than it's a cool cover. Yeah, and also it's a cool series. All right, we did that one. So of course we had to do the king of them all, Conan the Barbarian, number 1. artwork by Barry Windsor Smith, story written by Roy Thomas. This is the #1 Sword and Sorcery comic, in my opinion. I think in most people's opinions. And yeah, what can you say about it? It's great. Came out in 1970, Marvel Comics. This copy, as I've mentioned in previous videos, has lots of damage that I did to it unintentionally, where I lost some color to the top of the book here, and the spine's a little blown out. And so I love this book so much that I had to get 2 of them. My brother got me this book, this copy of the book, and it's got a little bit of water damage in it, but you know, it actually has much deeper colors on it. I'll be able to take out the water damage, I think, without ruining it like I did this one. And as I mentioned previously, I will be giving away this book and a couple of other books, a couple Golden Age books. And to enter the giveaway, like last video, like I mentioned in the last video, please comment and subscribe and give this video an upvote or upclick or thumbs up or whatever it is. And do that for the next video I put out as well. And if you have comments in all 3 videos, you're in the running. I actually got a number of people, I don't know if they were bots, but they were kind of like spammers who seem to spam giveaways. Unfortunately, I had to remove them from the comments section because, you know, when I checked on their names, they didn't really have any other content other than enrolling in different giveaways for different collectibles and often winning them, and pretty weird and kind of scummy behavior in my opinion. But I can pretty much tell the legit entrance from the non-legit ones, I think. So anyways, yeah. So, and then the final book I wanted to show is a book I really like. It doesn't necessarily top Conan #1, but it's in the running in my opinion. It is a really terrific Sword and Sorcery book in the Conan world. It is Red Sonja #1. Now, this is not the first appearance of Red Sonja. This is not even her first book. She appeared in as a cameo in Conan the Barbarian #23, I believe, and in a full feature in Conan #24. And then she was also featured in a Marvel Features Volume 2, I believe it was called. And I think she had 7 books in that run. I can't remember. But then she was eventually spun out into her own title. And I really love this book. I love the artwork in it. It's drawn and inked by the great Frank Thorne, with a story by Roy Thomas, and it's beautiful. I love all Frank Thorne's work. He didn't create Red Sonja. Red Sonja is a loosely based on a Robert Howard character, also called Red Sonja, but with a Y, I think, instead of a J. But he kind of gave her her look. I don't know if he actually gave her the metal bikini that she's known for, but he gave her just this sort of beautiful and wild sort of image. And one of my favorite panels or pages in this book is this page in particular. And so yeah, I think this is a pretty good page to end this video on. And yeah, all right. Well, thanks a lot. Bye now.